Yeah, so just as a follow-up video to my last video, my current, disillusionment and love for hip hop. Um, hip hop wasn't supposed to be about exploitation. Capitalism is about exploitation, right? And it's just like you can kind of see that it's going left. Hip hop should not be in association with like the Logan Pauls, right? Like with branding. Like that's what hip hop is being reduced down to, right? It's just being reduced down to the most mind-numbing, stupid shit. That's not only mind-numbing but exploitive, and generally toxic. Like I get it. Like riding on your ops, blah 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 blah. I fucked your bitch, blah blah blah. I get it. Whatever. Why can't we live in a world where people are actually happy for other people? People want to see good and people want to do good for other people, right? Hip hop actually used to be about that. It did. There was sportsmanship. There was bravado. There was, look at Jay-Z and Nas. After all their beefs and the diss tracks, these two men, in their older age, right? They're able to be respectful of one another and appreciate that, their confrontation actually added to both their life legacies in a positive way for both of them, right? Like what that actually means, when black and brown people can succeed, together, whether it's a confrontation or not. That's beautiful. Like it shows, yeah, confrontation can actually be cooperation. It can. In that sense, the sportsmanship in battle rap, in, just hip hop music in general. You want to be the best there ever was to ever do it. That alone, if you can put your ego aside and just say, you know what, that guy had some really good points, because that's what it is. It's a complete breakdown of personality, right? It's a complete, I don't know. It's a coliseum, and if you can come out of there a better person, I think that's inspiring. And that's what hip hop was, and it still is to some degree. Hip hop, it never should have been about exploitation. If you had to sell drugs or make it out of the hood, there was a lot of pain in those songs too. It wasn't just celebratory of fucking exploiting crackheads and fucking drug addicts. It was about making out of one of the most miserable conditions that no one would ever want to be in, knowing that all the people around you are going through that same struggle. There was a lot of pain in that conversation, you know? And hip hop has had some great political moments too. Again, challenging power, using your voice. Tupac, for example. He was a hood intellectual. But he never stopped to not tell these white people they're a bunch of fucking crackers and white supremacists. Right? He said it how it was. Like, look, like you are harming the community with your policing. Tupac wasn't afraid to say that shit. That's what it was. That's what made hip hop, something to aspire to, right? You can be a poor person. You can be rough around the edges, but you can be an intellectual, and you know what? You can fight back. Against the corporations. These kids had two copies of records because they were putting these two records, these two different copies of records on turntables. They were using technology in a way that could defy the odds and make a successful business and be able to gain that wealth and make it out of their circumstance. Hip-hop was an anti-authoritarian movement that was pro-technological while still being poor and affordable. Why wouldn't you want that in a time where everything is unaffordable now? Rent is unaffordable. No one owns a home. Of course hip-hop is inspirational. Of course hip-hop was a political movement. That's what it's about. That's what it was. That's why I was so inspired by it. It wasn't all this fuck shit and stupid shit. It wasn't like, if you're going to be in a confrontation, that's one thing. But if you're going to be antagonizing to the human spirit, you're going to be insulting, any reason to be humane or logical or even moral, then what the fuck is the point? What is the point of your fucking movement? It's just that's the difference. Like kids today, they don't even understand it. They grew up in a time period for the last 10 years of hip hop. It's just some stupid fuck shit. No one cares. Like what are you aspiring to? Why are you using your fucking voice? Tell these rappers. A lot of these rappers now are just not relatable. How do you relate to them? They just talk about the most mind-numbing, stupid, dumb shit.